The way I see things, there's two approaches to life in general and specifically the ego and how your ego manifests itself in real life. And I'm kind of torn between the two that I think are reality. And of course, there's a spectrum between the two. But the first one, right? The first one is you have one life. And, you know, when you're born, what are you in this world? You're nothing, right? Nobody knows who you are. You haven't done anything. And it is the purpose of your life to do something. So, for example, let's say a kid, right? He's insanely driven because of his ego, perhaps. And he's like an incredible athlete, like right, like an all-American wrestler, and he gets phenomenal, grades, and he wrestles at like some Big Ten school, and he's like a champion. Okay, and after college, he like works this. He goes into like investment banking and just makes like a shit ton of money, right? And it's because he wants to be something, to do something, and to be remembered in some way, to matter in the grand scheme of things. And the other school of thought, or the other, potential manifestation of this ego, is that no single individual, really matters in the grand scheme of things. The world doesn't need us at all. It doesn't need any single human being. No single human being has really made a difference in the universe, on Earth, or even really for humanity. If this kid with this ego, right, on the other side, didn't exist, no one would really notice. Nothing would be different, and everything would finish the same. So, instead of a life of pushing, pursuing, to prove yourself to yourself, just accept what you are. And it's not necessarily saying don't work hard and don't strive for things, but if things go well, great. If they don't, they don't. Just leave things up to chance and be okay with whatever happens. And I personally don't know which one is best. I do feel like this one is, in many ways, a conventional, society is kind of warming up to this idea right now. But I wonder if that's because it's the easier one. If it's the easy path to say, I'm going to be me, and whatever happens, happens. But at the same time, I wonder if me saying that is just my ego from this side, right? Because my ego, if you have an ego, which, sometimes I feel like I do, sometimes I don't, and that's why I go back and forth. But if I'm feeling like this, right, I'm thinking I am nothing, and I have to prove to not only the world, but to myself that I am real, that I am alive, and that I am something, that I matter. And I'm torn. What is the best way to conduct your life? Is happiness, seemingly that if you would be, at higher happiness levels on this side better, or is achievement and, in my mind, potentially fulfillment? Can you have the same level of fulfillment on this side as you can on this side? The high ego versus the more accepting ego. And I don't know the answer, like I said earlier, but I'd like to. And I hope anyone watching thinks about those things, if you haven't been already. Maybe it is just shallow existentialism, but I'd like to think not.